Join us for a sacred sites adventure journey into Botswana, Namibia, Zimbabwe, and Venda land as we visit these ancient sacred sites, these lands and their people and their animals that help us to remember what it is to be human and to connect and reconnect the inner and outer landscapes. A journey to help us to remember more of who we are as individuals and as a greater collective. And as we connect more deeply with ourselves and the nature around us, we heal ourselves, and in this way help in our small way to heal the greater collective of humanity. We set off in our 14-seater air-conned minibus and our trailer. We called Indluvu, the elephant and his baby and her baby. And our first ceremony we did in the sand outside of Johannesburg, just to connect the energy of the group together. And we headed off to Francistown in Botswana, and we flowed with grace and ease through the border post. And after we stopped at Francistown, we headed for our Nata Lodge on the edge of the ancient Kahlakadi lake system, the salt pans of the Kahlakadi, and we had an absolutely awesome experience together. Walking on this amazing salt pan was like walking on the skin of an elephant. So here are our beautiful group, our matriarch Elizabeth, our fire keepers Brett and Catherine, our youngest Gogo Terrano, and here we have Bridget, Liesel, our photographer Nicole, Jennifer, and Janine. We were 10 in total, an awesome number to symbolize new beginnings for us all. Everything was extremely dry, and we had come specifically at this time to connect with the energies of the first rains that would fall somewhere just before the 1st of November. And we were very excited because we walked in onto the lake, the ancient salt pan, and walked to the water's edge, and it was almost as though the tide was rising. I had never experienced anything like it. The water was actually flowing in towards us and then suddenly stopped, and it was there where we did our first ceremony to connect more deeply with this part of the land, with the sacred waters, the animals, and the people. That evening we went back to our camp at Nata Lodge, and we were not disappointed. Wow, lightning, thunder, rain came tumbling down with great force, and the experience was just unforgettable. And we were truly blessed to have been there to experience that. The timing was perfect to experience these first rains that reached these very dry and parched lands. The next morning we awoke to an incredible sunrise. We had the cows jingling their bells past us, and then we got back on the road, and we were heading towards Maun and Sitakunga Lodge, Situkunga Lodge. And along the way we had another beautiful experience with the zebras and various antelope, ostriches, and of course a great big elephant right on the side of the road. We did some beautiful sounding and meditation circle with the tree with the cows, and there we were at Situkunga Lodge on the edge of the Tamalakana River. And yes, there are crocodiles, and we had an experience there. Beautiful sunrise, another sunrise greeting we did at the edge of the river, and a little bit of time for meditation before we took off to one of our main destinations, Tsodilo Hills. Along the bouncy dirt road, we've got elephant poop all over the road here. I don't know if you can pick that up coming up here. You see this? It's all very, very fresh elephant poop all along the side of the road. It's quite a big one. So we're heading into Tsodilo Hills, the mountain of the gods, and what I was trying to bring to your attention is that we've just been traveling for the last 5 hours along a very flat road. It didn't go up, it didn't go down. So this whole area for hundreds of kilometers is completely flat and used to be, I mean, it's got a few undulations, but it used to be part of an ancient lake system. And there are no other mountains. The only mountain is Tsodilo Hills that rises up out of this flat land. So for the ancient peoples, this was a place of sanctuary where they would have been able to come to find rock shelters, places to keep their families safe, and obviously to also look out over the landscape and be able to see where the animals are going and so on. So a very, very sacred site in that sense that there is no other mountain in this whole area except for Tsodilo Hills. So it has many, many layers of human existence that goes back well over 200,000 years. So we are going to one of the earliest sacred sites of humankind, and we're very excited because there's a connection to the Serpent Cave that is said to have been used as a cave of ritual possibly 70,000 years ago. So these are artifacts that were actually found there. So there are very few places in the world that show ritual sites of that antiquity. So we're all very excited. We're traveling across the last flat stretch before we're going to see the mountain suddenly rise out of the flat land, and we'll film that for you so you can see on our approach what they look like. The three mountains are known as the Mother, the Father, and the Child Mountain, and they also have a Grandchild Mountain. So it's very much been named after the sacred family unit, which is very strong in the Bushmen, the Kham Bushmen, in this area. So we all look very excited. The rain has fallen. The serpent is going to awaken to the sunrise within the next day or two. We'll be there for sunrise and hopefully see the serpent awaken. Okay, there we go. All right. Good morning. Very excited. The rains have just started falling. The great thunder gods have been speaking, and we are here at Tsodilo Hills to experience the first rain and the awakening of the python, the serpent cave that sits, the rock python in the serpent cave here at the sacred hills, mountains of the gods at Tsodilo Hills. So I'm very happy to hear the rains fall as
so many people here have been praying for rain, and we have added our prayers to this great collective prayer for the rains to come and for the land to be renewed with fresh grass, for the animals and for the people. Life to be reborn. So the rains are, for me, a symbol of rebirth, especially, and for this area would be seen as a new year, a new cycle that is about to begin, which are all the elements of the snake. That symbolizes death and rebirth, fertility, water. The lightning bolts that are coming down are also seen as snakes. Coming down from the sky. That also bring the rain snakes. So I'm just feeling blessed to be in and experiencing the first rains here at Tsodilo. With much love, much gratitude.
Wow, we awoke to a beautiful morning with a golden sunrise coming up over between the Mother and the Father Mountain. I got to connect with Kuntai, good old friend and guide, one of the local Kung Bushmen, and he's the elder of the village, and he was the last man to be living on Tsodilo Hills itself. So an amazing man, great wisdom and knowledge. We first headed for the great baobab tree where we did our first ceremony, just to connect in with the land and the people and the animals, pay our respects. And then Kuntai took us around to show us in the Mother Mountain where the waters flow, the female mountain, and we walked up into where the sacred spring was, and we actually dug down to connect with the water because it hadn't rained for a while, so the waters were still just under the ground. But it was amazing to dig in the earth and to do a ceremony there, do some meditation. And after that, we headed for Kuntai's village to support them, his wife and his family, who make various beadwork and crafts. So we all had an amazing time connecting there with the people, the children. And it was great to be able to see their place, their village, and have a deeper connection with them. And we continued the following day to surround the Mother Mountain. We saw multiple rock art. The colors on the rock were just absolutely amazing. And some very, very special places. One of them was the projecting the footprint down through the ceiling right on the midday sun time, and that was actually the footprint of a kudu. So this is part of the paper that I'm busy preparing, and there were cup marks that I believe were used for possible stargazing. We saw a leopard footprint on the way. We saw Kuntai's old village where he used to live with his father, and where they used to sharpen the spears, and he told us a story. So the story. So God made all the people come here,
Yes.
and the animals,
Yes.
and then they go out.
Yes.
The black people, the white people, everyone comes from
So
here.
you see the footprints.
Yes.
There's a people, the people, animals, they come down somewhere there.
Ah.
Yeah, but these people this year does not make the train is like this one. Yeah, another time you come and I'm going to show you that the animals they come down here, then come here.
Yeah.
Yeah, they come, dig, make the stone. Yeah, they make the hole. There's a footprint there.
Yeah.
They make deep.
Yeah.
They come from down area.
Yeah. So they come from the sky.
Yeah,
down.
Down.
In
Yeah.
the hole. Then they climb out.
Hole, yeah, then
Come out, and there they come.
Yes.
The animals and the people.
There's a place there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is a good story. I like that one.
Yes.
Yeah. It sounds good. Yeah. It
Yeah.
sounds like the Baba Credo shaman. He says Chodilo means the place where everything came out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
The next day, we were off to one of my favorite places, the Father Mountain, the Abba Mountain, and the Great Watchman. This particular stone watchman is very similar to some of the other sites that I've been researching. This one has a full human head or profile with an eye that faces exactly due west to the setting sun. And it even has some teeth, like quartz teeth, to make it look even more real. And it's a very archaic, early Homo sapien head that matches that of very closely to Homo naledi. But that is still another part of my paper that I will go into more depth at another time. The experience there was absolutely amazing. To gaze through the eye at the sunset is just something quite moving, connecting to the great fire of life as it marks due west, the setting point of the equinox sunset. The following morning was one of the great events, and that was to head into the Serpent Cave that evening and spend the night and actually connect with the serpent, this 35-foot rock python with engravings of scales all the way down the side to enhance its features. And as we sat there in the evening with our little lamps and our little fire going, we made an original fire, me and Kuntai, with rubbing the sticks together, and did some prayers. And the serpent just seemed to come alive in the firelight, the three-dimensionality of the serpent, the mouth and the eye were extremely pronounced. And during the night, I took some amazing photographs of the stars, the connection of the serpent, which in actual fact, the python is a conduit to the star gods. And we were not disappointed. The sunrise awoke the serpent a little bit off the eye. I was a few days off the exact alignment, but nonetheless we were able to see the eye channel in the light hitting the serpent. And another reason why I'm actually coming back and doing this journey again at the end of this year. One of my most favorite and one of the most profound sacred sites in the whole world. There is nowhere else that has any kind of ritual site of that age, 70,000 years ago. So we all had a beautiful experience. And that morning we basically packed up, headed through our border post into Namibia, into the Caprivi Strip and the Great Okavango River, and an awesome camp called Ngepi Camp, where we were able to go out on a boat ride for sunset, and we got to have a most phenomenal experience with the lions, buffaloes, and the elephant.
Only to this one girl. She must be the pretty one.
She probably killed the feast.
Oh, thanks God he goes to the other one. The white beast.
Oh.
Look how light she is against him, huh? He's very dangerous.
Elephants.
Coming back.
It's going to chase those. They're going to chase those actually. That one has no fear, eh? Look at that. Look at that one coming on its own. Yeah, you're the main man. You're the main man.
Do they know the lions are not spiritual?
So what an awesome experience with the lions and the buffalo doing their dance together, and the elephants who came down to the edge of the water to drink while we were there. And we headed back at after sunset to our camp at Ngepi with Liesel doing the Titanic pose. And the next morning we were set for an early sunrise boat ride with the local guides in the Morocco, and what an awesome experience we had. So after our magical and meditative Morocco ride on the Great Okavango River, we packed up camp and headed for Zimbabwe and the famous Victoria Falls, the smoke that thunders, where we were able to connect with the rainbow energy, and I shared some of the spiritual and shamanic experiences that I have had there. And Janine, one of our dancing ladies, got an opportunity to connect with the local people and join them in one of their special dances. We also spent some quality time with Mpisi, a great elder known as a snake medicine man, and a keeper of the African culture and wisdom of his people. And we were able to spend a couple of days and share some meals with him and his family. And then we moved on to Big Cave Camp near Matopus, where we were able to connect again with the land and the people, and to visit the Cecil John Rhodes gravesite on Matopus Hills. And we had an awesome ceremony there, and we were met by all these incredible rainbow lizards as we set the intention and prayers to transmute the negative impact that Cecil John Rhodes had on the people of Africa. And we were also able to visit a cave nearby, a great big womb-like cave with some rock art, which was another amazing experience where we all had some time to meditate and feel into the energy of that cave. And from there, we moved on to Ernest at the Great Zimbabwe ruins, and he's an elder of the village, and we had arranged to actually stay at his home village with his family, and were able to have an awesome experience there, staying with them and having them cook their traditional food for us. And of course, in the morning, it was everyone had a chance to plow the land with the cow and the plow, and that was also a lot of fun and great to be able to walk the earth. And feel the energy of the earth of Ernest's home and the surrounding Great Zimbabwe area. And after that, we moved into our luxury accommodations at the Ancient City Lodge, which was absolutely awesome and well received by everyone. And we got to explore some of the sacred sites surrounding the Great Zimbabwe complex. One of them was Eagle Rock, that was absolutely phenomenal. Great deep passageways creating a massive cross in this megalithic structure that takes on the shape and form of a giant eagle. We went to the people call the finger of God. Lots of time for contemplation. We had some amazing sunsets and some beautiful moments around the campfire. And Ernest continued to share his wisdom with us, the ringing rocks and the sound resonance. The great walled enclosure and the King's hilltop complex of the Great Zimbabwe ruins is also nothing short of absolutely incredible stonework, along with some interesting ancient archaeoastronomy marker stones that were possibly from a much earlier epoch of time. So our time at the Great Zimbabwe ruins was absolutely incredible. We packed up and we headed for the South African border, stopping at an amazing baobab tree that we could actually get right inside, and did a sounding together. And once we exited Zimbabwe into South Africa, we went to Mashavela Lodge, that was a family run by a friend of ours, Ingrid, where we did a small prayer circle for her and her family and the land and the people. And then we ended up at our final accommodations, where we were able to visit the sacred sites of Venda land, and it was absolutely incredible. It was here where we met with Nelson, our specialist guide, who took us to Lake Fundutsi, one of the sacred lakes, and said to have a giant white crocodile in its waters that was seen as a sacred animal and a good omen for the people. And we also went and did our final ceremony there, and were able to send off our heartfelt gratitude to the Great Spirit that had kept us safe along our journey, which flowed with absolute grace and ease. And special thanks to everyone who joined me on this journey. It was an absolute honor to spend time with all of you, and thank you for each one of you for sharing your special gift and magic along the way. So I will be repeating this journey because it was just such an incredible one. I've had people ask to please rerun it. So this coming October, November 2023, the time of the first rains, I'll be going again. And we have 4 or 5 people signed up, but there's still room for at least 6 more people. So if you're interested in joining us, please have a look at my website, deanlaprini.com, and you will see that next journey that is coming up. So love and blessings to you all. I hope you enjoyed the show.